The look on the doctor's face said it all as he entered the private waiting room at Royal Marsden Hospital. Dr. Hansen's usual stoic bedside manner had morphed into an expression of grave solemnity, instantly causing Prince William's heart to plummet into his stomach. He had been trying to brace himself for potential bad news while his beloved wife Catherine pushed through her first grueling month of chemotherapy, but nothing could have prepared him for the weighted silence lingering over the oncologist's next words. "Your Royal Highness, I wish I had better information to convey," Dr. Hansen began, letting out a melancholy exhale. "Unfortunately, the results from Princess Catherine's latest stem cell extract and PET imaging are highly concerning to say the least. The cancer seems to not only be stubbornly persisting despite our most aggressive remedial efforts, but it appears to be actively spreading at a much more accelerated rate than we'd originally anticipated." Those few weighty sentences detonated like a devastatingly crushing bombshell inside Prince William's consciousness. His stoic royal facade instantly crumbled as hot tears welled up in his reddening eyes, with the once composed future king struggling to maintain any composure whatsoever. Catherine was only in the infancy of her treatment regimen and her vicious cancer was spreading faster? It simply couldn't be. No. And no, that can't be right. William stammered in disbelief through choked spasms of anguish. "She's doing everything you've prescribed to the letter. Perfect adherence on every oral medication, showing up to each inpatient chemo cycle without fail, even adjusting her nutrition to that bloody alkaline diet you recommended." The Duke weakly pounded his fists on the armrests, tears now flowing uncontrollably in streams down his agonized face. "She's fighting this evil with every ounce of her being. So how in the hell could you be telling me right now that Catherine is essentially... His words trailed off into unrestrained sobs. Dr. Hansen maintained a practiced solemnity as the grieving prince released his overpowering waves of emotion. He understood this wasn't going to be an easy conversation by any measure, no matter how firmly grounded he tried delivering the prognosis. "Your Royal Highness, I am so terribly sorry this disease remains so tenacious and resistant in defying our mechanisms for treatment," he said, his own voice slightly wavering with empathetic grief. Princess Catherine's unwavering courage and perseverance through her physical suffering has been as awe-inspiring as it is utterly gut-wrenching to behold. Which is precisely what makes these findings so devastatingly tragic. The doctor carefully placed his hand on William's trembling arm, offering the most emotional reassurance he could under the circumstances. "However, I must press that we not interpret these results as inalterably deterministic. Rather, they present us with a necessary recalibration and doubling down of our existing strategy. Your wife's spirit remains as fiercely vital and resilient as we could possibly hope. And rest assured, myself and the entire medical team are not only unequivocally committed to adjusting our comprehensive care plan, but we still have multiple therapeutic avenues left to effectively explore." William finally lifted his blanched face and met the physician's gaze with pleading, glassy eyes still welling with tears. In that moment, he looked less like the strong, confident heir to the throne, more like a terrified schoolboy being told his best friend may never return. Promise me, you won't stop doing everything humanely possible to save my Catherine," he whimpered with wavering desperation in his usually commanding voice. She's the perfect soul. My bright, radiant, steady life partner through everything this mad world has thrown our way. The supreme mother to our precious children. If I'm to eventually lead this nation in my grandmother's footsteps, it cannot be without her eternal wisdom and energy by my side. The prince's voice sharply caught in his throat with an anguished gulp, realizing he was perilously close to slipping into darkest depths of acceptance he simply refused to entertain. Not now, not when his wife's life remained so very much in the balance. Dr. Hansen squeezed William's arm firmly with a look of undaunted resolve. "You have my sworn, unflinching word, as long as Catherine's heart is still beating, this fight is far from over. The road ahead may be full of deep valleys.